Thanks for joining us. I'm Maria Sorreo, and here's what's happening around the peninsula. It was quite an evening at Trump National as 6 local businesses were honored by the Palos Verdes Chamber of Commerce. Many dignitaries from the community were in attendance, including Supervisor Don Knabe, Mayor Anthony Mizitich, and Mayor Pro Tem Brian Campbell. The president and CEO of the Palos Verdes Chamber of Commerce, Eileen Hupp, tells us how the recipients are selected.
We have a nomination process. We have criteria that the committee looks at in terms of innovation, contribution to the community, outstanding customer service, longevity in business, etc. And they will look at all of those factors and weigh in terms of who's the best nominee.
Do you always have a certain amount each year? Because you have a nice list this year.
We do have a nice list. We are so fortunate to have many wonderful businesses from which to choose. Usually they pick about 4, 5, or 6. This year we do have 6 honorees. There's always one that is the best nonprofit and one that is the best new business.
One of the winners was Promenade on the Peninsula, and their spokesperson Liz Griggs was very honored to accept the award.
Congratulations first on being honored tonight. When did you find out?
I got a letter from the chamber and I was informed that the Promenade was being honored for our contributions to the community, and it's great. We're so excited, so excited.
And we will have much more from this event a little later in the show. 15 acres were burned in a fire that was dangerously close to homes near Crust Road and Crenshaw Boulevard. The blaze was quickly knocked down from the efforts of over 100 firefighters and 2 water-dropping helicopters. The fire scare reminds us to be aware of what we can do to help prevent fires in our own backyard.
We want to talk about the brush fires because, as we said before, fire season is pretty much all year long here in Southern California.
Absolutely, especially here on the backside of the hill, which has a lot of what we call 1-hour fuels. And what it means is in 1 hour with a dry day with some heat, it could dry it all the way out and be ready for fire. Oh. So it really doesn't. We truly don't get out of fire season, especially over here.
We don't.
Right.
I want to talk a little bit about what people can do to really be prepared, because a brush fire is the kind of thing where usually they'll come and ask you to evacuate because it's too close to your home. And people are nervous. They don't know what to do, what to take. So what do we suggest?
Well, obviously from the very beginning, we suggest that you adhere to your brush clearance recommendations and rules. We come around once a year. I hate doing it. I hate going to people's backyard to tell them what they have to do to clean their yards, but to be honest, it's a help me, help you situation.
Absolutely.
It gives us what we call defensible space. Okay. What it does is it enables us to get in there and prevent the fire from consuming your home. Okay. So it's invaluable when it's needed. It's like an insurance policy. We hope we never have to use it, but when we do, we want it to be a good one. And your clearance and adhering to what we're requesting is the good policy.
There's been no official word on what started the fire, but the investigation is leaning toward an electrical fire and not arson. And when we come back, a new educational building opens its doors for a local community theater. And coming up in sports, some exciting news for Marymount College and its future athletes.
Introducing the all-new Enclave. It's a minivan to the max, with features like remote control sliding rear doors, 150 cable channels, a full sky view roof, temperature-controlled cup holders, and the 6-point navigation system. It's the minivan for families on the go.
Hi, I'm Deputy Chris Knox, here to remind you of the importance of sharing the road. It's important to slow down when you see orange cones in the road. Many days, men and women are involved in road work, so always slow down, even below the speed limit, and be aware of the workers in the road. By following these rules, we can all share the road safely. This message is brought to you by the City of Rancho Palos Verdes and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
Hi there, I'm Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It seems like everyone has an energy plan these days, so it can get a little confusing, but I have an easy way you can make a big difference. Try a reusable bag. If we all used one of these, it would save 12 million barrels of oil each year. Now that's an energy plan.
Brought to you by the California Integrated Waste Management Board, the Environmental Media Association, and Heal the Bay. Learn more at healthebay.org.
And in our City Council Corner, I had a chance to sit down with our newest council members, Susan Brooks, Jim Knight, and Jerry DeHovic, who talk about what challenges they're facing now that they've been voted in.
Well, we have some major infrastructure projects that we need to get through, and one of which I'm on a subcommittee with Susan here on the San Ramon Canyon. Mm-hmm. We're at a real critical state with that. We as a city have ponied up and come forth with all the money to put forth a complete design, engineer design, get all of the approvals from the various agencies, and we're ready to go out to bid. And we also lobbied up in Sacramento to get a grant, sure. $9.4 million. So we're at a critical state, but we need these LA City and LA County to come on board with us, and so we're in the process of trying to get them to do that. That's a really important project because it's time sensitive, not only in terms of weather. I mean, we don't want to have another storm coming down, but in terms of some of the commitments we already have from the state, we need to just make sure we're moving forward with that. So that's one of the bigger ones.
When we're talking about our goals, we just had our second goal setting session, but you know, I had 4 solid pages of goals. There's a lot of things I'd like to see happen, and I'm sure my colleagues had the same situation. But you know, you've got to prioritize, which we did the other day. And you're not going to get it all done, which is also frustrating because I'm a perfectionist by nature, and you want to see these things get done. And you know, we'll do the best we can on that, though.
And I wanted to keep Paradise Paradise. And seeing some of these changes, I was concerned about how priorities were being decided in the city. I was concerned about the direction the city was taking. I saw a growth of government. Things have doubled since I was last there. And I was trying to understand why a lot of the infrastructure needs had not been met if the growth of government had doubled.
And you can see more of our newest council members on our next City Talk tonight and every night at 8 p.m. There was a ribbon-cutting celebration for the Norris Theater as they opened the doors of their new educational building. Many Norris supporters and students came out for the event. The building will be used for various dance, acting, and musical theater classes, as well as rehearsals and auditions. Daniel Thomas is the director of the Educational Center and is ready for the students to get to work.
This has been a building that's been years in the making, even long before we got here. And although we've been doing a lot of the work, there's also been a very dedicated team of board members and volunteers and staff that has been putting this together. Dick and Joan Moe spearheaded the effort, as they did with the pavilion about 10 years ago. And then their daughter Julie and her husband John have been literally on their hands and knees, laying brickwork, picking out furniture, getting the paint done. So it's been a group effort. So it's been a lot of work, but it's really been worth it.
And we should say that the kids have been so patient too, because they've been wanting this, and their parents have been wanting this for so long, and they've had to be sent off to other buildings while this got prepared and going back and forth, and they've been so patient, and now they're so excited, and nothing could make us happier than that.
How does it feel to finally see it completed?
Oh, it's so nice. I mean, we've had the vision of it for quite some time, but the best part is watching the kids come into the building for the first time. And our instructors have even told us that as they've taught classes here, the kids are acting more professional and they're more focused. So you can tell that it's really having an effect on them. And that's the best feeling for me.
I think, and really for the kids, you know, since the department began, they've been in 3 different locations all around the shopping mall. And just to have one building that they can call home. And as she said, when they walk in and their eyes get so big and they know this is for them. And that's just a wonderful feeling.
And for more information on the Norris Theater, you can always go to their website at norristheater.org. And since we're always looking for ways to make our lives greener and save on some green as well, I sat down with our former mayor, Marilyn Lyon, who tells us about some opportunities we can take advantage of right in our own homes.
And the program, though, that is the latest and greatest and the best way residents can start saving right away, and the largest rebate I've ever heard of, is Energy Upgrade California.
Absolutely. Now, have you seen a savings? You seen savings?
Well, I know my father, just changing out a refrigerator alone, reduced his energy bill by 50%.
That is quite
That's just
a lot.
one item. So if you can imagine, if you do your entire home, tighten it up, just like a car tune-up, you're going to tune up your home and make it more energy efficient. Invite a participating contractor to your home and really have a good chat with him. If our viewers will go on the website, you can actually see where the heat is escaping. The poster behind us kind of says it all.
Explains it with the money
dollar
coming out of
bills
your
going
house.
out of the chimney.
Absolutely. And you can watch more on how to make your life a little greener on our next episode of Around the Peninsula. And when we come back, it's all about traveling on the hill and beyond with John Clayton.
We are Tiger Stuffs from Act 128 from Palace 30. You are watching RTV TV. Thanks, RTV TV. Good job! You guys did great! Nice job!
Hi, I'm Deputy Chris Knox. I'm here to remind you of the importance of sharing the road. If you are driving, watch out for motorcycles. They can be hard to see.
When you ride a motorcycle, always make sure to wear full reinforced safety gear, including a jacket, long jeans, boots, gloves, and a DOT-approved helmet.
There are 4 components to a DOT-compliant motorcycle helmet: a DOT sticker, a metal D-ring clasp, an inch of padding, and a manufacturer's label.
If you need more information regarding motorcycle safety gear, make sure to check out your local motorcycle dealer or the Motorcycle Safety Foundation.
When we follow these rules, we can all share the road safely. This message is brought to you by the City of Rancho Palos Verdes and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
And now it's time to check in with our travel tipster, John Clayton.
John Clayton here from Armchair Traveler on RPV Television. Now, you're probably saying, Armchair Traveler? Where is his armchair? Well, as a matter of fact, I've sat in it so many times, jumping up and down, that the springs bust and got worn out. So it is in the repair shop getting a tune-up. Okay. I know from feedback from the RPV television audience that a lot of you remember me from my days on LA radio, KABC, KNX, and KKGO. So I thought today I'd share with you some ideas on some of my travels around the world and some nifty things to see and do in Southern California, right here in Palos Verdes. One of the things that I found especially moving when I was in Europe was the Henri Chapelle Cemetery just near Bastogne in Belgium. This is an incredible cemetery and holds the graves of 7,992 veterans of the Battle of the Bulge. And when I was there a couple of years ago, one of the most moving things was when some tour buses rolled up and outstepped some veterans of the Battle of the Bulge. And you know what was most magnificent was when the Belgian citizens there rushed up and embraced every one of them and said, "Thank you for what you did in World War II." Another very wonderful thing is Normandy, and in Normandy there is a wonderful museum in Caen, that's C-A-E-N, and in that museum it describes some of the things that the British and Americans and Canadians did on June the 6th in 1944. Every single child in Normandy is, by Norman law, made to go there so they never forget what the British, Americans, and Canadians did. And I urge you, when you go to Normandy, and I urge you to do that, to go to the museum too. If you want some fantastic things to see in a museum right here, check out the Banning Museum. It is absolutely fascinating. When I went there, I felt like I was in a masterpiece theater, story from old England in the 1800s. It is moving, it is dramatic, and one of the things that I love most of all was the old washing machine. It is absolutely fantastic. That's the Banning Museum in Wilmington. Check it out. And until next time, John Clayton on Armchair Traveler.
Thanks, John. It's time for sports, and there's big news at Marymount College. The college will now compete in a new conference starting in the fall. Marymount's athletic director, Gary White, gives us the details.
We've joined a conference. It's called the California Pacific Conference. Okay. All those schools are located in the San Francisco area. Okay. 3 new schools have been added. 2 down here, us and Soka University, and Embry-Riddle in Prescott, Arizona. So they've expanded from 6 to 9 schools, and that's who we'll be competing against. It's California Maritime, Menlo, Pacific Union College, Simpson University, William Jessup, and UC Merced. Wow. Along with us, Soka, and Embry-Riddle. So the conference is now 9, and that was part of our reasoning to start golf, because it is a conference of sport with that conference, and we would like to add as many conference teams as we can as we expand.
Now, how do schools get selected to move into a conference like that? How does that work?
It was interesting because that was one of the things they wanted me to do when I got here, is to see if we could get into a conference. I looked at several, made application to them, talked to a lot of conference commissioners. They came and made a site visit. And then they want to know your background. Do you fit what their other institutions do? Do you fit their mold, their missions? And that was the CalPAC, and it's called the CalPAC, is a very, very good fit for us. So they made the site visit. They were very impressed with what we're doing, where we're headed, what our goals are, and it was a unanimous decision to let us in.
Wow. And you can see all of Gary's interview in its entirety on the next episode of Playing the Field. And finally, we're taking you back to Trump National for the Salute to Business, where we had the opportunity to see what stores and businesses our community just can't live without. I'm Maria Sorreo, and for all of us here at RPV TV, have a great day.
Luna Rosa is the restaurant I cannot live without.
Probably Terranea.
Nelson's Bar, Terranea.
Well, Chico's, Talbot's, Matt's Nails.
Point Vicente Animal Hospital.
I like the Black and White Store and Taylor, the Loft and the Gap.
I would have to say Terranea.
Red Onion and Nelson's at Terranea.
I live about 300 feet from Trump, so my family, we walk down for lunch and dinner.
I love everywhere on the promenade on the peninsula.